everyone, welcome back to our channel, Sunny Magnolias. I'm Antavia, and as you can see, Octavia is not here with me today because today I'm going to be doing a book review on Everything by Nicole Yoon. And some of you may see that our background is different, and that is because Octavia and I have officially graduated college. And some of you have probably seen it on our Instagram, but that is why the background is different, because now we are back in Mississippi. Yay! But today I'm going to be doing a book review, so let's jump right in. So the story, Everything, revolves around this girl named Madeline Whittier who has this disease where she cannot come outside because she's basically allergic to the world. And so for the last 17 years she has been inside of her home without the chance of being able to leave because she could possibly die. And so her mother is a doctor who has taken care of her, so she doesn't even have to leave the house to go to doctor's appointments because her mother is a doctor. But things begin to change when this guy moves in next door named Ollie, and they begin to meet. They meet basically virtually, and so they start conversing through like media apps and everything, and so they start emailing each other and they meet and a friendship develops. And because of this friendship, Madeline suddenly realizes that maybe she's missing something. And so she has this nurse named Carla who also takes care of her. This nurse comes into the house and goes through this whole process of like cleaning, so if she brought any germs from the outside, Madeline would be protected. And so Carla takes care of her when the mom is away at work, because the mom is a doctor to other people as well. And so Carla realizes that Madeline and this guy named Ollie seem to really be connecting, and Madeline has this great idea to want to meet Ollie one day, and so that happens. And so Madeline and Ollie develop this really cool friendship, and then as most stories, develop, they fall in love with each other. And so yeah, I'm not going to reveal any more until later into the video, until we do a spoilery section, so you're just going to have to wait for more information. But that is pretty much the basic summary of Everything. But I want to get into why I wanted to read the book, because at first I did not want to read the book. When I found out that the character had an illness, I was very wary of it, because the last book I read was The Fault in Our Stars, and it kind of scarred me just a little bit. And so I was like, I'm never reading another book about a sick teenager ever again. And so I wasn't going to read it. And then I saw the trailer for the movie, which comes out this Friday, and I'm super excited about it. And I saw that Amandla Stenberg was playing Madeline Whittier's character, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love her. And she was Rue in Hunger Games, so I was like, I have to see the movie, but I have to read the book, because sometimes I'm that person, I do that. And so I was like, okay, I'll read the book. And I'm glad I did, because it's a really, really great book, and I had never read anything by Nicole Yoon. This was, I think, her first or second novel. And so I was really looking forward to reading something with this author, because I'd never read anything by her. And I was really captivated by the cover. I really, really like it a lot. It's really nice. It's really cool. And so I was very hesitant to start the book, but I'm really glad that I did. So as I was saying, I'm really excited and really happy that I read the book, because now I have a movie to look forward to. But another cool aspect with the book is the illustrations that are in the book. I was actually quite surprised, because I read the book on Kindle before I got the actual hard copy. And so when I was going through, I was quite surprised to see there were drawings, which I didn't mind. But it's really, really cool. Her husband, apparently, Nicole Yoon's husband, is the one who designed the cover and also is the one who did the illustrations, which I thought was really cool that she collaborated with her husband. But here's just an example of just some of the drawings in the book. But yeah, and so I seriously suggest, I gave this book 5 stars. I really suggest that if you were looking for something really cool to read for the summer, I think Everything would be a great book to read. And so now we're getting into the spoilery section. If you do not like spoilers, I suggest you leave now, and I'm going to pause for a second for you to exit the video. Okay, so now on to the spoilery section. Okay. The book was really good. I loved every minute of it. I love Madeline, and I love Ollie's relationship and the way that it developed, and I love Carla, the nurse, so much, because she really was a helper, although sometimes it kind of can be seen as if she quite wasn't helping the situation, because if starting off Madeline was not sick, but if Madeline was quite sick, Carla's, decisions could have really ended Madeline's life. But I do know that Carla did have some suspicions about whether Maddie was really sick or not. But I thought it was really interesting to see how she began to develop the thought that she may not be sick, that maybe something, you know, was different, and maybe, like, quite possibly her mother was lying to her, which I thought was really sad. But as I was reading the book, I was thinking, okay, nothing has happened yet. You know, when she leaves the house the first time, even when Ollie comes into the house, when Carla invites Ollie over because they want to meet for the first time face to face, and she starts interacting with him, and they're in the same space, and she doesn't get sick. And so I thought that was really interesting, despite the whole like air filtering and the wind blowing process of getting all the germs off. I was quite surprised to find that nothing was happening, and so I thought that was a bit suspicious. But when Maddie goes out the house to go help Ollie when he's arguing with his father and the mother, and all of these things are happening, and excuse me, and then Maddie like comes back into the house, and she does get, it seems she gets a little sick after, you know, that whole ordeal where she was outside for a lot longer than she's ever been since she was a child. And so I thought, okay, maybe she is sick, and maybe, you know, I'm just like imagining like this whole thing. But when she runs away to Hawaii with Ollie, and you're like, okay, maybe, you know, she's not sick, but then she has this idea, well, okay, if I do die, at least I'm spending time with Ollie, which was very, you know, not a very smart thing to do because she could have died. But then she does later on realize her mother was lying to her, and I kind of expected it. That was the one thing about this book, is that the ending was very predictable, but it wasn't written in a bad way. Like, Nicole Yoon's writing style is absolutely amazing, so I didn't mind that the ending was predictable because I loved reading up until the moment of finding out what actually happened. So I was like, okay, I don't mind that part. But the fact that her mother had been lying to her, I could sympathize with the mom because she had already lost her husband, she already lost a son, and because Maddie was so young, she didn't quite have memories of those two members of her family. And so she was able to understand where her mother was coming from, but she was very angry with her mom, which I got. But I feel like at some point, which they do say in the book, that something must have, you know, snapped for the mom to create this lie that her daughter was sick and to keep her within the house for 17 years because she didn't want to lose her to any kind of, you know, accident, because her husband and her son died in a car accident. So I thought that, you know, that was really, really sad when you find out the ending of why Madeline is in a house for 17 years and that she was never sick. There was never any documents that pointed to her sickness. And what I thought was strange is that even when she goes to the hospital with Ollie in Hawaii and the mom comes to visit, I thought it was really, you know, great of that doctor to email Maddie and be like, hey, I know your mom says you have this, but I don't think you have it. And then she has to go through the process of dealing with, for the last 17 years of her life, she's almost been kind of held captive because in her mind she doesn't have a choice, but this entire time the choice to leave the house was available to her for 17 years. She just wasn't aware of it. But overall, I think Everything was a great book. I enjoyed reading it so much. It was very light and very fun, and the love story was just so adorable and sweet. And it was very, like, diverse. Like, when I realized the character, after seeing the trailer, which is what caused me to read the book, after seeing the trailer and seeing Maddie's character, that she's actually half Japanese and half African American, I was really blown away by, you know, having a character like that, because in YA you don't really get that. But I think it's also really interesting that Nicole Yoon kind of pulled from personal experience in writing this book, because she is married to a Japanese man, so I believe her daughter is half Japanese and half black, so for her to create a character that her daughter can one day read and see herself in, I thought was really cool. But I do suggest that you guys pick up this book, and if you've read the book, go see the movie, and please comment on this video if you liked it, because I have no idea when I'm going to go see the movie. But I hope you liked the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and also check out Octavia and I on Instagram. We do have a Sunny McNuggets Instagram, so you can just be up to date with what we're posting. And so, sunshines and smiles. I'll see you guys in the next video.